Hello, welcome to Learn Digital Academy, and this is Kamlesh. Today we are going to know about the website designing and development. So in this website designing part, we'll come to know what is website actually. What are the factors are there for a website? How does a website work? And how many types of websites are there? Right? And apart from that, we'll also know about hosting and server and domain names, right? So here in the next slide we'll know what is website. So if we'll talk about website, so website is nothing, it is a group of web pages. So here it is also written a set of related web pages located under a single domain name. That means a website must have a domain name, that is called website name, right? So if a website is there, so there will be so many pages. We'll see the real example of that. For example, we are taking our institution's website, like it's a learndigital.co. So let it open. So he so learndigital.co is nothing, it's a domain name, it's a website name. Fine. So as soon as I open this one, so here we can see there are many pages like home page, about us, digital marketing courses, branches, testimonial, blog, and contact. So this complete structure is called sub pages, right? And the this home page is here we can see whatever the landing page we can see over here, this is called a complete website, right? And here under that we can see this home, about us, these are called sub pages or web pages, right? So normally these pages are hyperlinked with each other, right? So when we click on this, we land to the particular page as well. So here we can see just I have clicked on about us page. So now I landed to about us page, right? So we can say that web pages or sub pages, it is interlinked with hyperlinks, and hyperlink is nothing, it is a link that redirect to the destination page or particular page, right? So here we can see there are three aspects of a website. The first one is domain, the second thing is hosting, and the programming skill, right? So here domain, as I told, domain is nothing, it's a website name. That means you have to select a name for your website that is that works like a address, right? So if you will have an address, then definitely people will come to you and they can visit your website, isn't it? Hosting, after domain, hosting is a very important part for this. So without hosting you can't make your website live. So although you have purchased the domain, right, but hosting is required to show your website over the internet, right? And the third one is programming skill. So normally people talk that if anyone knows programming, so they can create a website, but here we can create a website without coding as well. Although we don't have I mean any knowledge of coding like php, .net, asp, java, javascript, like that, but without coding knowledge we will be creating a beautiful website, right? So next, if we'll see, so website is an interface for communication with your target audience about your product and services. Yes, really. So if anyone will visit any website, so there we can see the particular information, that means the information related to the particular product or services, information of that particular business as well, right? So here we can say a website is nothing, it's a online property. Yes, it is just like our property. As so it's an online property and components. The factors, that means the domain name from where you can purchase your domain or website name. So these are the marketplace from where you can purchase like GoDaddy, BigRock, HostGator, Net4You, right? And the other thing like extension. So with the business name or with the website name, if the extension will be purchasing, so we'll be purchasing extension like .com, .org, .net. So these are the extension, right? So after that, hosting. So as I told, hosting is nothing, that means to make your website visible over the internet. That process is called hosting, or we can say to take a space over a server, right? And here we'll be developing a website with the help of CMS, that is content management system. So totally we'll be working on WordPress. Then we'll see types of website. So if we'll talk about the types of website, so there are many types of website. The first one is personal website, right? So in personal website, normally people, they say about their self. So personal website, that means the complete information. Normally who create personal website, like we can talk about authors, right? Musicians, models. So in short, we can say it's a type of portfolio website as well. The second thing is business website. So in business website, normally company create their website where they can show their, I mean, list of product and services, the complete information of the company, right? Then e-commerce website like Flipkart, Amazon, and blogging website where many bloggers, they write their content, they write some information, right? Then directory websites. So directory website is nothing, that means here a list of topic you'll be able to see. So that I'll show you over here. So here just I'm opening a website. It's indiapages.com, right? So if you have a website, that means you can submit your website over on this website. So this type of website is called directory website. That means you are submitting your business name, you are submitting your business website over here. So whoever the crowd will be visiting this website, certainly they will come to your page, website page, right? And photo sharing websites. So there are so many types of photo sharing website. Normally they keep sharing their photos, right? So here you can also share your photo by showing your website link as well. Then community building website, it community building website is nothing, it's a social networking website. Okay, on the next. So first we'll understand what is web hosting. So a web hosting is a service of providing online space for storage of web pages. These web pages are made available by World Wide Web. The companies which offer website hosting are known as web host. Right? So web hosting is nothing. That means it is a process of taking space. Just assume this all your website, it depends on the server. So server, that means a server should be on 24 into 7, right? So if you are owning a space on a server, by owning that space is called web hosting. That means you are renting a space in a server, right? So if a server will be off even for a second, your website won't be live. So here, that means you are taking space in a server. Taking that space in a server is called web hosting. So here, after taking web hosting, that means you can access your website, right? And if you have taken web hosting, that means you can make your website live over the internet as well. Next. So domain. Now we were talking about domain. So a domain is nothing, it's a website name, and these are called the extensions, right? So a domain name are used to identify IP addresses. Yes, for human being, that means domain is nothing, it's a name for understanding the human being, but for machine it is it is just like number, like, so we can say binary number, right? So that process is that means with that link we can say that's a uniform resource locator, that means the URL, that's the link. So here, suppose this is complete structure is called URL, right? Okay, so now next. So what should be the factor before selecting a domain? So before selecting a domain, you should think your business name. The business name should be, I mean, your website name should be related to a business as well, right? So before selecting, that means this point you should keep in mind. So while selecting your domain, that means you have to focus on the characters, right? So not more than 12 characters you should select. Whatever the domain name or website name you're selecting for your website, the ideal character limit is 12. Although you can go more than 12, but why 12 here? Because uh, it's a short name, right? Keep it short and specific. So why short? Because it is easy to remember, right? It is simple and predictable as well. Or in fact you can use in phrase, that means rhyming type of words you can use for your website as well, right? And avoid numbers and hyphens. So whenever you are selecting your domain or website name, don't use number, although you can take number, but as a SEO factor, number is not considered good, right? And you shouldn't select misspelling I mean domain name, right? So around the world there are more than 1500 extensions. So these are the main extension like .com, .org, and this is the top level domain as well. .gov, edu, org, mil, .com, .net. This is the top level domain. And like .in, .co, .in, .uk, .ca, .th, this is country based domain name. So .in, that means India, .uk, that means United Kingdom, .ca, that means Canada. So domain marketplace to buy domains. So these are the marketplace where you can purchase your domain like GoDaddy. In fact, we have seen GoDaddy advertisement in TV, right? So you can purchase from there, that means domain and hosting as well. And these are the other companies, or in fact, if you will simply search in Google, okay, like domain providers, so you'll be able to see the number of websites, right? Then now we are talking about web hosting. As I told, web hosting is a process of taking space in a server to make your website live and to access your website over the internet, right? So there are two categories of hosting, that is called Linux hosting and Windows hosting. So Linux hosting refers the most popular hosting. That means most of the businesses, most of the companies, they prefer Linux hosting, right? Why? Because it is open platform for everyone. It is free to use as well, and it supports coding like PHP, MySQL as well, right? So if you are owning a WordPress website, so definitely it will be a good choice. Then Windows hosting. So if you come to Windows hosting, so Windows hosting, they use only Windows Server operating system as well, right? And it needs a special type of coding knowledge, right? And it is or normally we can say complex websites are made on this. So here if you see, Uh, now just wait. Minus. So Linux and Windows hosting. So this is nothing. This is the operating system of a server, right? Suppose we have a laptop. So our laptop or a computer, it runs under a certain operating system, right? So our laptop is running, just example, Windows 10 or iOS version, right? In the same manner, this server, they run under the Linux operating system and Windows operating system. Now, if we talk about web hosting, types of web hosting, so there are four types of web hosting. The first one is shared hosting. Second one is VPS, that means virtual private server. Third one is dedicated server hosting, and the next is cloud hosting. So now if we'll talk about shared hosting, so it is only the most popular and affordable web hosting plan. So here that means with its name we can understand what is shared hosting. Shared, that means we are sharing a space in a server, right? So just we can assume that suppose this is a server, this complete structure is server, and under one server, that means you are taking a space, right? So apart from you there will be many people who will be taking that space as well. That means you are sharing this particular space with each other, right? So shared hosting is very, cost effective. It is very cheaper. In fact, you can manage your website over here with low cost as well. Then VPS hosting. So here a server is divided into multiple virtual units, right? So okay, before explaining this, I'll tell about dedicated hosting. So dedicated hosting is nothing, that means you are taking complete space in a server, right? You are renting a complete space in a server and you are not allowing anyone to enter in this zone, right? So it is just like that, key you have a building, right? And you are the owner of the building and you are not allowing anyone to enter into your house. That means you are the king of your house, right? But in shared hosting, that means we'll take example of PG, right? So in PG normally we have seen somewhere it is written two sharing or three sharing or four sharing, like that one, right? So in a room, if you'll talk in a room, there will be two or three beds. That means three people will be sharing one particular room with each other, right? In the same manner it happens over here. That means in a web hosting, I mean in a web server, if you are taking a space, in that space the other people will be sharing with you as well. That is called shared hosting. And dedicated, just you got it, dedicated, that means you are hiring a complete space for your website. And VPS hosting, we can say it is the mix up of shared hosting and dedicated hosting, right? So some part of the shared hosting will be there, and maximum it will be preferred by the domain hosting as well. Then cloud hosting. So cloud hosting, that means again it's a very important hosting part. That means this hosting service utilizes the trending cluster server technology, right? So it is built upon cluster server technology. A cloud hosted website is supported by a number of server in the network. That means here we'll understand the example. Key, a server is there, right? In a server you are taking a space, fine. So what will be happening if a server gets failed? Your website won't be live over the internet, right? Chances are there. But what happens in cloud hosting, multiple servers, they are connected with each other. So in that case, suppose if any one of the server will get failed, so other server will take the complete backup of your website and your website will be live all 24 into 7, right? In case if second server gets failed, your and I mean the third server, it takes the backup, right? So these cloud hosting, these are interlinked with each other. The servers are interlinked with each other, right? So here we can see web hosting companies like Hostigator, Bluehost, Hosting Raja, GoDaddy. So simply if we'll search in Google as well, so we'll be able to see the list of hosting website. Now we'll talk about SSL. So SSL is nothing, it's a secure socket layer. It is a lock. That means it is just like that, protecting your house with a lock. Let me show you example of that one. Okay, here we can see this lock image, right? Lock symbol. So that means this website is totally secure and safe, right? Taking this lock, purchasing this lock, that is called SSL. So for I mean taking this protection, we need SSL certificate, right? So when you purchase this SSL certificate, that means secure socket layer, so your I mean URL will come with this preferred domain like HTTPS. This is the protocol. With this protocol your website will be opening. Let me show you if the example can I show. uh, so here I'll type like okay. So I am opening this website now. Here we can see this website. That means we are not able to see that security, that lock, right? So this will come with HTTP. I'll show here. If I copy and paste this one, you can see here this is the protocol. That means it is coming with HTTP. That means it is not secured, right? In the same manner, if I am taking this one, so this website is coming with HTTPS. Like that means here, if I paste it, okay. So here the difference we can see HTTP and HTTPS, as that means secure, right? So that is called SSL, secure socket layer. That means you are providing extra security to your website. So these are the programming skills normally required for website development: HTML, CSS, ASP.NET, PHP, JavaScript. But without having knowledge of this coding part, we can create a website, right? So we'll be using a content management system that is called WordPress, right? So in next part we'll be knowing the practical part of a website, but before starting that you have to select your niche if you want to create a website for you. So for the practice purpose, you can create your niche on which topic you want to create, like it may be fitness, photography, car, bike, travel, gadget, or reviews, or you can create, some common website. So here you'll be doing some you'll be writing some contents as well. And if you won't be getting any topic, that means you can search in Quora and answer the public, right? So this was the introduction part. So here again just we'll have a fast revision on that. So a website, so website is nothing, it's a collection of web pages. So under a website there will be multiple pages like home, about us, contact, blog, product and services. Those are called web pages, right? So a website is dependent on three aspects, that is domain, hosting and programming skills. A website is called your online property. And components, that means this is the marketplace from where you can purchase domain like GoDaddy, Big Rock. And domain extension is .com, .org. Then types of websites, so there may be many type of website like personal website, business website, e-commerce website, blogging website, directory website, photo sharing website, community building website. And web hosting, we knew about the web hosting. Web hosting is nothing, that means to take a space in a server for making our website visible over the internet. That process is called web hosting. So domain is nothing, it's your website name. Then these are the factors that you have to keep in mind before selecting your domain. It should be the ideal character limit is 12. You can go more than that, but it is very easy or remember for everyone to remember your website name. If you're selecting somewhere around 12 to 14 characters, right? Then you should avoid numbers and hyphens for your website, and you shouldn't make any spelling mistake while selecting your domain name, right? So there will be multiple domains, so .com, .org, .edu, .gov. So these are called extension, but these are the top level domain like gov, edu, org, mil, com, net. Again, this is the marketplace from where you can purchase the thing. So web hosting, there are two type of web hosting. The first one is Linux hosting and the second one is window hosting. Linux hosting is free to use and it's open platform for everyone. It supports coding like PHP, MySQL. And Windows hosting, that means it needs a special type of coding skills, that is called ASP.NET. And we can say complex website is created on this Windows hosting. And types of hosting: shared hosting, virtual private network, that means VPS hosting, dedicated server hosting, and cloud hosting. So here in shared hosting, you are sharing a space with other person, right, with other website, I mean. Then VPS hosting is nothing, it is the mix up of shared hosting and dedicated hosting. Dedicated hosting, that means you are taking the complete space of in a server, that means you are not allowing anyone to enter into your zone as well. Then cloud hosting, cloud hosting is nothing, that means here many servers are interconnected with each other. So these are the web hosting companies. SSL is nothing, that means you are taking extra security or extra protection for your website. So these are the programming skills. Without this one, we are going to create your website and we'll be taking the help of WordPress, right? So in the next videos, we'll know about the practical part of our website.